Wow, another week has passed and I have to admit I didn't get to writing myself. The weather isn't too well for me having migraines, which makes it difficult to focus on longer text. In addition, the prompts of this week don't suit me that well at all. With the war and the ongoing discussion about refugees, rising far-right populism in Europe, and other political topics going on, some of the prompts feel like I've been robbed of my escape place called world building. Of course, I know that this was not intended with these prompts, and of course, I won't allow my personal feelings to get in the way, but I am not happy with it anyways. This is why I will avoid the real world topics that really scream at us today and try to paint these prompts in a lighter way. If I make references to war, I will reference Warhammer 40k, which I learn to love at the moment. As usual, you will need a World Anvil account to participate in the challenge. You can participate with a freeman account, but you will probably need a master account to achieve the higher badges like gold or diamond. That's all you need in every case, but I would recommend that you buy a lot of your favorite drinks and snacks, which can help you make a comfortable time at summer camp. Additionally, especially if you are not used to writing that much, you may experience pain in your wrists. In that case, I think you should think about using Word or another voice-to-text tool to initially dictate your article. Prompt 11 uses the settlement template and can cover a wide range of things. Beginning with a single street, a neighborhood, or a gated community and reaching to an isolated town or village. The question you have to ask yourself for this prompt is from what event or situation this settlement provides the inhabitants with a refuge. War is coming to mind, of course, but I think it has to go in another direction, at least for me. Leaning towards other RPGs, I decided to create a fictional village close to my city that has only supernatural inhabitants. It's protected with rituals and magic from the Eye of Mortals, which can't reach the place easily. With that, I will bend the existing lore quite a bit, but on the other hand, it's my setting after all. For prompt 12, you will use the technology template. In addition, it's the first one that shoots a Warhammer 40k item into my mind, the Gala Field. Gala Fields are there to protect a starship during warp travel from the dangers of the warp. Starting there, I think about my vampires, which have to protect themselves from sunlight. There are a few technologies in place I could write about, from steel jalousies to glass windows which filter or block sunlight. Glass windows it is, but they should still be in development. Why these? They are less obvious than windowless penthouses or barred villas, which are totally locked down during the day. Keep the masquerade in mind, guys. The location template is used for prompt 13 and you can really go all out with it. A mountain valley where not a soul strays, an underground cave whose entrance is hidden at a place that is difficult to access, or something similar. If you like to combine prompts, how about this? In the mountains, there is a small valley inaccessible to humans. The entrance to the cave passage that leads there is hidden behind a waterfall, small but large enough to conceal the narrow entrance. The valley is protected upwards by a camouflage dome so that it appears on satellite images and for technology as if the surrounding mountains were larger than they actually are. That would be the technology used for protection. In this valley, there is a small village where creatures live that are mostly hidden away from humanity. The settlement can then be accommodated here. For prompt 14, you use the building template on World Anvil. At the same time, this prompt is very simple as anything can be a retreat from the world. The youth center where you can retreat from the adults outside, the Elysium where you can simply be a vampire for a moment regardless of the people in the world. a vampire's own lair which he can furnish in such a way that it resembles the time of his origin without being considered strange, just because no one will ever see it anyways. Prompt 15 makes use of the formation template and deals with all kinds of bodyguards or guards in general. Imagine a police unit or a sworn cult that's been formed to protect a specific person. In the World of Darkness, I think the cult is a very good idea, especially since there are and have always been vampires who are worshipped like gods. Mitras is a very good example here. The Sabbath doesn't even have to be about a leader who is worshipped like a cult. The Sabbath paladins used to protect an archbishop or cardinal are an excellent example of this prompt. The 16th prompt uses the item template, and while armor is the first thing that comes to mind, that's not all. Sure, armor physically protects against damage in fantasy as well as in more modern settings, but there are other things too. Think also about holy items, protective tokens, and other items that can keep a particular threat, be it magical, physical, or mental, away or mitigate its effects. In the World of Darkness, for example, this could be a crucifix if the wearer has true faith and does not simply hold it up like a pin. But it can also be a gang jacket that prevents the other criminals in a certain area from attacking the wearer. Even a suit can, in the right environment, be an item that protects the wearer, in this case probably from social problems or attacks. Prompt number 17 is a prompt for the tradition template and one where you can really accommodate everything. These can be personal rituals that bring the user back down after a hard day, but it can also be funeral traditions that help ease the pain after a loss. For believers, it can also be a type of baptism ceremony that assures that a child's soul is safe and protected. Traditions don't always have to encompass an entire cultural group. They can be so small that they only apply to a single character, but they can also be so large that everyone in an entire world does them. For that reason, I won't really go into detail here about how to apply this to the World of Darkness, as the prompt is pleasingly wide in its implications. For prompt 18, you will need the species template and can have a lot of fun with it. Protective does not mean defensive. Protective can range from the chitin armor to tusks designed to keep a predator at bay. Or what about denser or more fracture-resistant bones? Or think about a species that simply turns to shadow and smoke when you try to grab it, as a kind of defense reflex. Here, too, of course, you are better off with a fantasy setting or even a sci-fi setting with aliens. For the World of Darkness, I would recommend either using a real species or simply reaching into the fairy realms and describing a species from there. And if in doubt, you can always talk your way out of it with "there are more things between heaven and earth." This week's first wildcard uses the ethnicity template, and again it practically screams Warhammer 40k for me. But I am committed to the World of Darkness, so I will have to put my beloved Astartes and Sororitas aside. Larger than life doesn't necessarily have to focus on physical appearance or anything like that. In fact, it rarely does. In superhero comics, the main characters, both the heroes and the villains, are intentionally larger than life. The ethnicity template indicates a cultural grouping or a subculture that gives this impression, and by some ensures that not everybody necessarily has this view. Consider, for example, a small cult whose priesthood seems to push the boundaries of human possibilities by following the commandments of the faith much more strict than everyone else. That certainly wouldn't impress everyone, but some, especially members of this cult, would certainly argue that this is larger than life. The last prompt makes use of the organization template, which can cover a lot of different organizations. I don't think anybody needs a hint what a charity is. What I do want to say is a good is a question of perspective. As one of my favorite German YouTubers, Walter Blantes, said about Sanguinius, compared to Superman, he's a genocidal warlord. Compared to Chaos, he is Morgan Freeman. So what that good is really depends on the premise of your setting. And that's it for today. I hope this video was helpful or entertaining for you. If it was, please leave me a like, comment and subscribe. And if you like, you can also share the video with your friends. Here you will find another video from my channel as well as the playlist with all my English content. Until next time, bye!